yeah, I did all that. So I kind of, yeah, first year, right? So you've just done it, है ना? 4 बजे उठ के ट्यूशन, 4 4 घंटे मैथ्स, फिर 4 4 घंटे फिजिक्स, फिर 4 4 घंटे केमिस्ट्री, फिर घर जाके एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज, है ना? We've all done that. And after all that, क्योंकि क्या कहा था घर वालों ने कि 12th कर लो, एक बार इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में घुस जाओ, then life is set. फिर तो कुछ फिक्र करने की जरूरत ही नहीं. Yes or no? Yeah. So I did the same thing. I'm exactly the three idiots clone. I got into an engineering college. I wanted to be an architect, but okay, yeah. So I wanted to be an architect. I really did. So I applied for the Chandigarh College of Architecture, but as luck would have it, मेरे नंबर उतने अच्छे नहीं थे कि मैं टेक में घुस जाऊँ, और उतने बुरे भी नहीं थे कि मेरे को आर्किटेक्चर करना पड़े. So that is what everyone thought, that you do something because आपके नंबर आते हैं वैसे. So what I want to tell you is that till now, none of you have ever been in control of your lives. Whatever we've done because we've got those marks. The streams you have today is because those are the cut-off marks you had. The choice of colleges you have today is because that's what you got. Right? So all of us who think we're in control are probably not that much in control. So I think it's time to start being in control. I've got a small speech written over here, but I'll kind of try to just be. My job today here is to make sure that I inspire at least 10% of you to start thinking about entrepreneurship in a way which I feel should be practiced more in Punjab and more in India. What is an entrepreneur? Does anyone know what an entrepreneur is? Someone who raises money, right? Someone who burns a lot of cash. Someone who has lots of witty one-liners. Someone who does 3 LinkedIn posts a day. What else is an entrepreneur? And a startup, anything, scream out. Leader, visionary, problem solver, idea, right? So, 20 years ago, who were entrepreneurs? What? Exactly. So, people who have to make a living. So, an entrepreneur's first job is to make money. He can be a visionary, he can be a leader, he can have an idea. His first job is to make money. And how do they make money? So the way an entrepreneur makes money is he finds a problem. He prays that no one else has found that same problem. And then he tries working on it. He prays no one else is working on it. His colleagues, his friends don't go around telling everyone his idea. And then he hopes everything stays absolutely the way it is till his product launches. And then he makes money. How many of you are on TikTok? Thank God. That was a trick question. How many of you on Instagram? A lot of you, right? Facebook? Much less. MySpace. Okay, one guy on MySpace. Orkut. Who knows what Orkut is? All right, a few of you here. In the problem that we have usually in colleges is that we are building an Orkut when the world is moved to an Instagram. And that problem is the problem that we're trying to solve today. And what half an hour kind of talk here today would be to make sure that you start doing things today which will help you as an entrepreneur tomorrow. Because this is a great college, by the way. I mean, like I told you, I tried very, very hard to get into this. If any one of you are from the Chandigarh area, you would know that there are tuitions that we had to go to. Chittara tuitions, for example. Right? You have to give an entrance exam to get into the tuition. And then after that, you have to, I was part of the worst batch because I was probably the stupidest guy in the class. So I was something called D-dash batch. It was not called E because E was a failure batch, right? So we call it D-dash. You know what my tuition timings were? 4 to 8 in the morning. From 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock were my tuition timings. So what I used to do was, me and my friend used to pick up the car, go to the tuition center, put the seats as back as we could, get our pillows and sleep for 4 hours. Then come back home and kind of tell everybody that what a fantastic निकल गया IIT में और मैं पीछे रह गया. तो मुझे बाद में समझ आ गया कि I might not be the guy who can understand everything in 10 minutes and kind of redo it, but I had a knack for solving problems, usually my own problems. And that is when I thought it might be fun to do my own job. So I asked my grandmother, I told her that I wanted to open a Maruti authorized service station. You know what a Maruti authorized service station is? Big service stations and these smaller service stations. She had a mini heart attack. She said, my grandson, an engineer, is now going to repair cars for the people. It was nearly impossible for me to get public any sort of support from home or anyone in the ecosystem. It was very, very difficult. And the reason was that we had no heroes amongst us. Um, See, guys, entrepreneurship prepares you for life, but you have to understand that you have to live your life, right? You don't have to live your career, you have to live your life. It has to be a whole thing. So you're in first year right now. I want you to do 6 or 7 little things, and then we'll get to the second part of it as what that will help you do. First thing is have fun. This is the most important time of your education because you're in the first year. There's literally no expectations of you, right? So you have to have fun because only if you do that, you'll be able to learn properly. My second thing is learn. Learn as much as you can and learn everything according to first principles. The world is moving so fast today that what you're learning today in your first year and you think that you're probably going to apply it into a startup in your third year or your final year, that's not going to happen. The world is moving exceedingly fast. So while you're having fun in your learning, learn to learn and learn to unlearn. I mean, this is a very, very, everyone says this is a very kind of used line, but you've got to learn how to re-equip yourself at an extremely fast pace. The second thing is, the third thing that you want to do if you want to be an entrepreneur. Well, how many of you want to be an entrepreneur? Because you guys are not getting jobs, huh? Okay. Right, so an entrepreneur is not someone who doesn't get a job. Right? An entrepreneur is someone who says, I'll take a chance, I'll probably take it right now. And he doesn't test the water with both his feet. वो छलांग नहीं मारते कभी उसके अंदर नदी के अंदर पहले एक पैसे देखते हैं कि कितना है, right? So this is there are ways to be an entrepreneur. There's a whole science behind it, and hopefully I can talk to you about it a little bit. You need to make associations at this time. You need to talk to people you don't want to talk to. Engineering colleges and colleges in India are a very, very good melting pot. Some of you will be from tier 1 cities, some from tier 2, some from tier 3, some from small villages. You'll have extremely different backgrounds. You will speak in different languages. You will have different vernaculars. You'll have different ways of thinking. But you all together represent this great country. So you have to learn how to talk to each other, and that's one thing that we find entrepreneurs miss. You have to be able to communicate and make associations with people that you wouldn't normally be able to talk to, and you wouldn't normally want to talk to. You are going to learn technical skills. The one thing engineers usually lack are social skills, and social skills are not taught in a 6-month course. It's the way you are. It's who you are. It has to come from inside you. And I know this is going to be difficult because I'm asking you to move out of your comfort space. You see, each one of you was a superstar in your school. In your own school, you were superstars. Today, you're a bunch of superstars. And within them, there'll be someone who's more superstarish than the other. You are in that is why engineers make such good entrepreneurs, because we actually go through this grind. Right? So learn to talk to people, to meet with people who you normally wouldn't want to talk to or wouldn't want to be with, and just try understanding their point of view. It's very, very important to be someone who can talk to a whole variety of people. This is basically a Punjab problem that we will never say that we are wrong. Right? Something else happened. This is one thing we have to change. So as an entrepreneur, it is very important to say you were wrong. You misread the market. You misread the timing. You misread something. You were supposed to show up at 12:30, but you came at 2. Right? Completely unacceptable. So you have to be able to say that you were wrong, and you have to be able to find a way to rectify that. As an entrepreneur, you have to be extremely open. You have to say you're wrong. You have to meet with people. You have to talk to everyone. So in the end, what I'm trying to say is that you have to be an open book. Because if I can't trust you, you're not going to be able to lead anyone. If I can't find a commonality in you, you're not going to be able to lead anyone. Uh, uh, One thing I mean, I don't know, has anyone of you done a venture before? Any venture? Or you did a venture? Is it success? It's a failure? Yeah, that's fine. So learn to be wrong, learn to fail, learn to put yourselves up. A failure resume today is way more important than a successful resume. So when people ask me what you do, I say I failed in 2 startups, and I failed spectacularly in both. One, we completely misread the market, and the other, we couldn't do a simple P into Q calculation. So price into quantity, which all of you will kind of do in economics 101. I'm sure there'll be a economics course somewhere within the 4 years. Simple P into Q. We realized that I had to. So I was selling. So let me just digress for a minute. I'll tell you what I was doing. So okay, I'll tell you what. Let me just talk to you about my life a little bit earlier, right? So I'm from Chandigarh. I grew up around here. Tried to get in, couldn't. Went to Thapar. Did my mechanical. Got into a company called Maruti. So we all know Maruti. I fought with my line manager over there. So he posted me to the Maruti service center in Cochin. So if you know where Cochin is, it takes 2 bloody days to get there, right? Uh, I did that for 4 years. Absolutely loved it. It was the best time of my life. Then I gave my exam and got into. I gave my GMAT when I got into ISB. I did my MBA there. Worked with a couple of marketing companies, but I wanted to work in a bank. And I know half you fourth year guys want to work in banks. You want to work in finance. It's very glamorous, right? You wear a fancy tie, made by some fancy French company, sitting in this great office, and you're clicking on a keyboard. It's fun. It was fun for a year, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. So I got into the sales side of banking. I went to the US. I was living the Punjabi dream. I didn't want to come back. It was absolutely perfect. In fact, I'll give you a I couldn't speak Punjabi in Chandigarh. Because in Chandigarh, we were asked to speak in English and think in English and be in English, and kind of make yourself kind of just kind of the rest so that you can get easy jobs. And it's a very ingrained thing. I learned to speak Punjabi in New York City. It was unbelievable. Every taxi driver only spoke Punjabi to me. Every Delhi guy only spoke Punjabi to me. And these guys spoke to me like they thought I knew it. And I'm looking at their faces. Luckily for me, I was married, so my wife took over. But um, I did that for what 5, 6 years, and I decided to come back home and grow old in Chandigarh. So once you go and you see the whole world and you see everything, do that. Please go and see everything and be everywhere. There's a part of you which wants to come back to your hometown and get and grow old here, grow roots here, grow your families here. I wanted to do that. Came back home, worked in ISP because I was incubated there. Started my company, we did really well. Then I decided to start a drinks company. I said यार जूस बेचते हैं बहुत अच्छा आइडिया जूस बेचने का तो कहते हैं जूस बेचेंगे तो हम कैसा जूस बनाएंगे बहुत यूनिक जूस बनाएंगे तो हमने 30 ml you know how much 30 ml is you guys engineers right so 30 ml का हमने वो खोला right we took a 30 ml shot and we spent I think 6.5 lakh rupees and trying to brand it so दो स्ट्रॉबेरी के मैंने 6 लाख रुपए दिए थे तो वो branding किया उसका and then beautiful glass bottle absolutely great one ceiling cup they got seal cover it absolutely wonderful लेकिन उसमें juice नहीं था उसके अंदर we decided that we want to make it separate we want to make it special we are innovators we are startup guys we are the ones who want to change the world इसमें हम apple cider vinegar डालते हैं so we put 10 ml of apple cider vinegar and 20 ml of some other thing that guy told me was very, very good. And this is the startup, by the way. This is how startups run. So कहता सर बिक जाएगा मैं back कर यार you had me at बिक जाएगा back कर yes so then we made 6 so we come on we are Punjabi so we didn't start with 1 flavor we started with 12 flavors so 6 flavors into 2 and then because we didn't want to disappoint customers we got inventory of each and every flavor. सबके घर में पड़े हैं बोतलें, मामा चाची ताई, everyone in Chandigarh's houses are full of my inventory. I didn't have money for them. I didn't know that I would have needed a warehouse. And then we started selling them, and then we realized that we were probably making. A long story short, I had to sell 2 lakh bottles a day to break even. Now, initially when we were selling, people weren't telling me, but it was my friends who were buying. You know, friend would buy one pack, friend would buy two pack. I mean, apple cider vinegar. Oh, who's going to drink apple cider vinegar? Our thing was कि आप पतले हो जाओगे apple cider vinegar पी के. And हमने बहुत उस पर एफर्ट लगाया कि पतले हो जाओगे, पतले हो जाओगे. So I think पतले इसलिए होते हैं क्योंकि एक बार पीते तो you don't want to eat anything for the next 6 hours. That disgusting. So we were completely not in love with our product. Absolutely no love. Zero health. I mean, I'm from Chandigarh. There's zero health benefit. I mean, I do nothing for health. It's so there was no health in my life. I just wanted to be cool. I used to do a hydroponic startup before that, जो मैं किसानों के साथ काम करता था. But I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be there. And 40 under 40, which 2 years ago I gave up the dream because I was 41. But 40 under 40, I wanted to be, 30 under 30, be there, put your face. Well, because all my friends were doing it. 3 of my batchmates have unicorns. 3. You know how embarrassing that is? Very. So I said, I also want to be there. I want to be in the front. I did my startup for the completely wrong reasons. So all the money I made in my agriculture startup, वो किसानों के खूनों का पैसा जिन्हें तो जो बनाया था हमने पूरे प्रॉफिट 10 साल में जितना निकाला था हमने 2 महीने में इसमें बर्बाद कर दिया. The only person, I mean, there were I think 2 clients I had who used to like that drink. It was a complete disaster. At which point I thought probably I'm not a very good guy running startups. I'll probably be better at giving yarn on startups, which is what all consultants do. So if anyone's going to consulting company, remember that. And then we started the Innovation Mission Punjab. The Innovation Mission Punjab was a government of. Do you know who Muntek Ahluwalia was? Anyone? Muntek Singh Ahluwalia? So he used to be in the Planning Commission long ago, about 10 years ago. He got together with about 20 other economists and said Punjab is in problem. So again, I know this is Chandigarh, I know this is type, but I'm a creature of habit. You know the major occupation of Punjabis is in Punjab? Farming, correct? Everyone knows it's farming. You know the average age of a Punjabi farmer is? Who said that? Yeah, 48 years old. The average age of a Punjabi farmer is 48 years. You know, this is innovation. So it's 48 years. So at 48 years, and if I say what is your occupation, what do you say? You talk about the thing you do maximum in the year. So if you're a banker, you will be a banker for 12 months of the year, right? If you're a farmer, you'll be a farmer for at least half the year, correct? Anyone who has less than 10 acres of land anywhere in India is a farmer for only 4 months of the year. The rest of the time, the rest 8 months of the year, they're laborers. They're actually going and doing odd jobs. They're truck drivers, they're laborers, they work in different areas. So farming is not the chief occupation of Punjab. It is the lowest common denominator that we have amongst our people. So what we need to do is we need to start getting more people employed and getting them employed gainfully. So how do we get people employed gainfully? Yeah, you start a company and you make a big industry. So if you have big industries in places like Punjab, it doesn't work. Because the moment you have, how do I say this delicately? The moment you have involvement from a lot of people, things don't take off. So you have to have startups because startups are extremely, extremely nimble. And that is why there's so much focus on startups today. And so I'm just trying to set context as to it is pivotal that we are able to build an ecosystem where startups are birthed every day. And that is the effort of everyone over here. But you are the guys getting birthed, by the way. You have to build those startups. Ecosystem ban jayega, unless you guys build it, nothing will happen. The last 2 points for this, and then I want to talk to you about the tools that you have. Guys, learn to get up and show up. The biggest, the only success factor in any startup guy is he gets up and he shows up. He doesn't care what it is. He will wake up, he will, get ready, wear his turban, and get to work. If he's traveling, he'll make sure he opens his computer, gets to a quiet area and get to work. You have to be reliable. You have to be dependable. And as you guys work in teams, I'm sure you'll have a lot of group assignments, or at least a few group assignments at least. So when you do that, keep that in mind. Right? So in ISP, we had only group assignments. And we were very clear. If you were called at 4:15 and you were there at 4:16, you would do the assignment yourself. The entire assignment for the rest of the team as well. So learn to show up, learn to get ready, wash your face, all the tension is off, got strong shoulders, and get to work. And the last thing, I mean, this is something very typical for India, and it's typical for all of us, is learn to explain your ideas in 2 minutes. Learn to explain what you're saying in a minute. Learn to explain it without language barriers. Learn to explain it to everybody and anybody, and you will be unstoppable. If the biggest problem that we have today is that we find it difficult to converse. I told you about my drinks company, right, which was a fantastic disaster. I run another company called Fresh. So I came back to India to actually be with my father. So my father was in the Merchant Navy, so I never actually grew up with him. I mean, I don't know if anyone's parents are in the Merchant Navy, but if you are, you realize that they're always traveling, they're always working. So I never grew up with my father. So about 8 years ago, my father was contracted a very serious disease. He got something called multiple myeloma, it's a form of blood cancer. They gave him 2 years to live. This is 11 years ago. And he told me at that time, don't come back. There's no need to, I'll be fine. But I said, yeah, I want to be close to him. I just wanted to be close to him. And my biggest support over here was my wife. So we had one daughter who was already born in the US, and we were 6 months pregnant with my second daughter, with our second daughter. And I decided to kind of come back home because I wanted to be here. I came back home, and Papa and we fought for the next 8 years. So when they gave him 2 years to live, he fought for 8 years. And he did it only by occupying himself and doing things that he always wanted to do. He just bought a small 1 acre piece of land, started growing food there for himself. He started living a cleaner life. At which point he found hydroponics as a science. So again, 7, 8 years ago. So it was very new at that time. So I came back and I started this company with him. And the only reason I started this company was I wanted to spend time with him. I've never fought with him. I never did it. He was, if you meet each other for only 3 months of the year or 2 months of the year, you don't show real emotions. So he was here, and we spent the next 5 years building this company. And we built it using complete first principles. Everything we did, it was brand new. Blue ocean strategies, right? Completely brand new. To the point, the only vindication I have today is that I called my system Spint Fresh Tashi because the first lady who bought my system was a lady called Tenzin Tashi from Sikkim. So I told her that you bought my system, my entire system will be named after you. Today in India, there are at least 10 companies selling original Tashi systems. I have literally no idea what that means because I just made up the name. We used to sell 5 plant kits. There are at least 10 companies which sell only 5 plant kits. Now, they don't know why they sell 5 plant kits. I know. Because I had a 5 plant kit, it ships the cheapest. So while we were building this company, and we had 3 employees. These 3 employees one was the sweeper's daughter, one was my painter's youngest brother, and then the third kid who came to me, and the only reason I hired him was because he was born on the same date I was. That was it. There was no reason. I was that laissez-faire with hiring people. I just wanted to spend time with Papa for nothing else. I didn't want to run the company. I was an accidental entrepreneur. So we hired these 3 guys, and I lost my dad 2 years ago. So when I did that, I said I don't want to run this anymore. I'm going to close it down. So I said we'll close it down. So these 3 guys said, why don't you run it for some time, and we just let us run it for some time. It's been years. The company has increased its profit on a monthly basis. And all these kids do is they're simple people from small villages near you. There is no difference between you and them. You've got a chance. They didn't. So while I see so much equality in all of us, I want you to know that you guys have got this unbelievable chance to do something. Now these kids, all they wanted to know was, Sir, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਸਿਖਾ ਦਿਓ. ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਸਿਖਾ ਦਿਓ. ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਸਿਖਾ ਦਿਓ. That's all they wanted to know. None of them wanted to which is very strange. But apart from that, all of them wanted to do that. Now I can't teach anyone English. It's a longish thing. So what I did was I gave them 10 templates of emails. They've been copying, pasting those emails, and if you read those emails, it looked like an email from those Nigerian princes. Have you got those emails, anyone? That I'm a Nigerian prince and I've got $10 billion to give you. You got those emails, right? And if you get, yeah, right? So it's that verbose, that kind of language. Um, um, and it was a, it's been 2 years now since I completely got out of doing that full time, and we double our profits every year. And I don't run it, so you don't need someone brilliant to run these companies. You just need a start. Now come to the really boring part. So I hope you like that without the really exciting part of the speech. No. So, guys, when I was a startup, I had no tools. You have tools today. So let me quickly tell you a few tools. You have something called incubators. You know what incubators are? Where you hatch those little eggs. Yeah. Exactly. So you have to check out the incubator in tech. Okay? You have incubators. Incubators are designed to keep you warm and fuzzy till you're ready to face the world. Remember that. You have a opportunity to test out your idea. You're in first year? You have four years to go? Some of you have 5? No? Okay, all of you have 4? You have you have roughly 4 ideas that you can make and fail. 4 ideas. Every year you can make an idea and fail. There is absolutely no problem with startup failures today or acceptance in the market. There is the only thing that probably stops you are 2 things. One is थोड़ा जो डर लगता है कि मैं करूँ कि ना करूँ, फेल हो जाऊंगा सर. काम से किसी को डर नहीं लगता. You've all cracked these exams. You're all here. You can do all this stuff. It's very easy. वो जो अंदर से झिझक है कि यार मैं करूँ कि ना करूँ, लोग क्या कहेंगे, मैं फेल हो जाऊंगा, कैसे करूँगा, that has to go. That really has to go, because if that doesn't go, you'll never be able to take a step forward. The moment you go and when you're training yourself to be an entrepreneur, you're basically training yourself to be a great employee as well. And I know this is a post-lunch session, so you don't have to put it. You have to be able to understand that the next 10 years are only going to be about people being able to take care of themselves. And what's that called? Entrepreneurship. Right? You could be working for a company, but you could still be an entrepreneur. You could still think about it from an entrepreneurial point of view. How many of you want a government job? Great. So government jobs and entrepreneurial jobs are very similar. They both have the same work timings also, right? 10 to 3. Is the only thing is in the government job is 10 a.m. to like 3 p.m. And in entrepreneurial life it's 10 a.m. to 3 a.m. So I know someone who does that, and it's a very tough life. So why would you want to be willing to work so hard? Let me give you a quick, before I open up for questions, I'll tell you why would you want to be working so hard? Money? Who said money? Yeah, it's fine. Money? Do you know how much money? You know, you have heard of the concept of LCM, life-changing money. Which changes your orbit from one place to the other. Well, that happens. I've seen it happening to maybe 30, maybe 40 people from my batch. From my batch of 300 people at ISP, I've seen it happen to 40 people. But one thing more than money is that you will be able to change the orbit of your own self, your own personality, your own ability to think, your own ability to contribute, which is after one time way more important than money. Guys, so let me quickly recap. You've got to be entrepreneurs. Some of you know it right now, some of you don't know it, that's fine. You'll have to end up being entrepreneurs. How many of you want to go to Canada? Perfect. right? So what if we don't do in Canada when we go? Trucks, who said trucks? Those are very high paying jobs. Let's start with the lower thing. Right? Flipping burgers, no matter what you do, no matter what you do, you'll have to learn these entrepreneurial skills before you go. So prepare yourself for it. There is no better time. Have you heard of Campus Fund? Does anyone know the Campus Fund? What if I told you there's a bunch of guys who will come to your college, look at your idea, and fund you right here in your second year, third year, fourth year, wherever you are? Is that fun? So what's the first step now? We're gonna start first. We're gonna just chill, enjoy Chandigarh for some time. है ना? एक दो महीने देखेंगे क्या है, but get to know everybody, get to know your friends, talk to everyone. No groupisms, no ये दिल्ली के हैं, वो फरीदाबाद के हैं, पंजाब के हैं. Everyone is in. You have to kind of all be together. That's the first genesis of being able to run a company. Is being able to talk to your own friends. Second thing is ideas. Get them out, write them down, flesh them out. There's something called a business model canvas. Does anyone know what a business model canvas is? Alright, so go to IIM Punjab website, it's there. We go to Google, is there as well. We've translated it into 4 different languages. Take a business model canvas and fill it up. You could have any idea. It could be as, I mean, there are people who have got funded who ideas कि आपने जूते पहने हैं, आप जूते रेंट कर सकते हो. इस देश में कौन सा बंदा जूता रेंट करता है मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन आप इस देश में जूते रेंट कर सकते हैं. I'm not talking about bags or belts, which I can still understand. I'm talking about shoes that you wear. And they've got funded. And you know why? Because they had a full business plan in place. So get your business model canvases, fill them up, get them vetted. We are doing a session here in a week's time. I think you're carrying it out, right? Sorry, the EIC. So we'll do it with the EIC. Anyone interested in attending that, please do. Make it count. Don't sleep your life, and don't sleep your life in this college. Don't sleep your life in this college. It's a, like I said, you've got a chance which so many girls and boys wanted. Let's make the best of it, guys. Is there anything that you want to know from me about entrepreneurship, how to do it, how to suddenly become very, very rich tomorrow and make a difference? You can ask me now.
स्टार्ट शुरू किया, पहला प्रोडक्ट आपका सबसे रॉ होगा, उसको कैसे सेल करोगे आप?
So there are early adopters. So you learn the terminology. There's a thing called the F network. Okay, the only people who buy your products and who invest money in you when you also don't believe in yourself are friends, families, and fools. That's it. Right? So you will get. I mean, people who bought the earlier imagine the moment a phone comes out. There are people who want to buy the first phone. They'll stand in line, they'll get there, even though phone is a bad example. Let's say a superhuman ring came out. I don't know if you guys know there's something called a superhuman ring. You can put it on your finger and it gives you all the stats without wearing a watch. It tells your heart rate, your ECG, whether you're having a heart attack. It's awesome. But it was very buggy when it first came out. Yet it sold. Because the early adopters, so in the life cycle, when you see life, you'll probably study that. So you see life cycle of clients, there's early adopters that you have. Those early adopters are the guys who take a chance. Yeah?
And sir, एक और question कि when do you realize that you have failed in a startup? कि आपको कब रुक जाना चाहिए?
You realize. जब वो आप रात को खुद बैठ के वो विनेगर शॉट पी रहे हो ना, तब समझ आते कि ये तो मैं ही नहीं पी पा रहा हूँ और कौन पिएगा. Yeah. I didn't get that. Sorry. आपको स्टार्टअप करना चाहिए कि नहीं? करना चाहिए. वो फेयर कैसे निकालना है? आप जब आप अच्छा, this is a good one. What's the difference between an engineer and a technician? So अगर आप उसको बोलो टोस्टर खराब हो गया, इंजीनियर आपको डायग्राम बना देगा पूरा. ये है इसका सर्किट, ठीक कर ले. टेक्नीशियन खोल के ठीक करेगा. करेक्ट? Who do you think is more fearless when it comes to technology? The technician. Because that's the only way you'll give up your fear. You cannot learn swimming through VR glasses. You cannot learn cycling sitting on your chair. बैठोगे उठोगे तो 2 बार गिरोगे. विनेगर ना बेचना बस. Anybody else has any questions? Yeah.
Sir, how long does it take to find a unique marketable idea?
It's a. Now this is the biggest. These are not lotteries. This is a process. आप एक आइडिया सोचोगे, आप उसके बाद 100 इटरेशन करोगे और जैसे वो शुरू हुआ तो उसका बहुत अलग होगा एंड. There are a couple of ways to do it. The first thing that you should do is you should do a complete technical analysis, as they call it, right? So put it down and understand the entire market. उसकी एक वो बिजनेस मॉडल कैनवस भरेंगे आप, तो आपको सब समझ आ जाएगा कि यार इसमें क्या हो रहा है. Then you realize how big is the market. Do you have 100 million clients or not? इंडिया में कितने लोग हैं? 1.5 बिलियन, करेक्ट? कितने? 150 करोड़? 150 करोड़. इसमें मार्केट साइज क्या है फिर? अगर आपको प्रोडक्ट बेचना हो इंडिया में, क्या मार्केट साइज है आपका? 2 करोड़. उससे ज्यादा कोई मार्केट नहीं है. So do a serious market analysis. Don't say इंडिया में इतने लोग हैं तो सब साबुन खरीदते हैं, जो मेरा साबुन खरीदेंगे. इसमें तो आधे लोग हॉस्टल वगैरह कोई साबुन नहीं खरीदता, ठीक है ना? So there is a, so you have to be very very clear in what kind of market segmentation you do. Business model canvas. Then do you have the skills? Why you?
Sorry, sir.
I said, then you ask yourself, do you have the skills? Why you? What is unique about you? What is unique about your team that no one else can do it? Where is the moat? Does anyone know what a moat is? Right? A moat is around the castles. When you have moats, so we have moats around businesses, which people can't break. Coca-Cola का moat क्या है? Brand. Unbelievable brand. Taste. No one can copy it. Right? So, it's a whole process. There's a whole class that we're doing with you next week on this. And I promise you after that, if you have an idea and you put it down, you'll realize whether you should do it or not. Any other thing? Thank you, sir.
Sir, at the starting stage of the startup, how to hire people? So how do you know कि इन लोगों को मुझे hire करने की ज़रूरत है या नहीं है? And mostly people you will hire are older than you in age and more experienced, more probably. So how to get started in hiring?
That's a good question. What I'm doing is I'm just opening up a card I got yesterday. Yeah, this is a card I got yesterday from a startup. Where is it? Yeah. He runs 2 companies. For the first company, he's Chief Strategy Officer, Chief Technology Officer, Chief Growth Officer, Promoter, Legal Consultant. For the second startup, he's Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operating Officer, Chief Innovation Officer, Chief Marketing Officer, Chief People Officer, Chief Vision Officer, Senior Educator, Chief Design Officer, Chief Strategy Officer, and Legal Consultant. Do you think he can hire people? So you start hiring. See, anything you can't do, you hire. It depends on the kind of startup also. 99% of the people say you should outsource anything which is not core to your business, right? But आपको बहुत चीजें देखनी पड़ेंगी. आपको मोट काम बन रहा है. Is AI suddenly going to come and sweep everything off your things tomorrow? It's a consulting assignment. So we'll have to kind of sit down and figure it out. But you usually hire with equity, and you usually hire with good equity, and you usually hire people who are 10 times smarter than you. And this is true, huh? By the way, my closest friend used to be the topper in Thapad, and it's a good college to get into. Also, this is a very smart guy. He works today for the girl, for the lady who runs a very, very, very large edtech firm, and she's the bottom of the class. So always hire people smarter than you, and hire them in a way that they can completely run entire things and take that load off you.
So where to find those kind of people? Like where to hire, how to hire?
Very difficult. Only way you'll fire them is through an ecosystem. Why do you think people go to Bangalore? For the same reason that American companies go to China. You go to China, you ask for a product engineer, there are 10,000 of them. You go to America, there's maybe 10. In Chandigarh here, or in Punjab, or see, north of Delhi, there's no large city. There's only Delhi. Delhi is sucked in everything from the north. So we're trying to build another large city in this Mohali area, which is Mohali, Chandigarh, Panchkula, all the way to Kharad. It depends आपका घर कहाँ है, वो जहाँ तक आपका घर है वो चंडीगढ़ तक है वहाँ पे, right? So we are trying to build this here, and once the ecosystem happens, you start finding these people at cafes, at meetups. And if you're interested in doing this, there are at least 6 or 7 meetups that happen on a monthly basis in Chandigarh through Headstrong or through Me. There are lots of different B2C sites. There are 4 or 5 different places. They're usually free, and if they're not free, I'll make them free for you. Go. Anyone in the college wants to go. I'll get a spot in the college and we'll communicate with that guy. But we'll make sure that you guys go for these events and see what's happening around. See the amazing stuff that's happening. Yeah. How much more time do you have?
और सर मैं ऐसी बैकग्राउंड से आता हूँ, जैसे अमृतसर से छोटे से विलेज से आता हूँ, ठीक है। तो मैंने कनाडा छोड़ के आया हूँ यहाँ पे, ठीक है। मेरे जो रिलेटिव्स में वो मेरी फैमिली में किसी को जेई का जो कॉलेज का किसी को कुछ आइडिया नहीं है। अब मैंने उन लोगों को काफ़ी मुश्किल से कन्विंस करा है कि मैं यहाँ पे रह के इंजीनियरिंग कर सकूँ। तो अभी जो मैंने एक होप दे गया हूँ कि मैं प्लेसमेंट अच्छी लूँगा कॉलेज जाके, ठीक है। तो क्या मैं वो बंदा हूँ जो स्टार्टअप वगैरह की तरफ देखूँ, क्योंकि मेरे ऊपर पहले से ऐसा है कि उनको प्लेसमेंट चाहिए, ठीक है, एज अ सिक्योरिटी की। हाँ, मतलब प्लेसमेंट की बता के आया हूँ। अभी मैं दूसरी तरफ डाइवर्ट करूँगा तो डेफिनेटली प्लेसमेंट पे भी फर्क पड़ेगा। दोनों चीज़ों को साइड बाय साइड नहीं लेके जा सकता। तो एम आई द दैट पर्सन who has to be done who has to be practice a startup?
You can see. I mean, you're saying कि आप कनाडा से आए हो, आप किसको वहाँ बोल के आए कि आप जॉब लोगे?
मैं कनाडा से नहीं आया हूँ, मैंने अपनी फैमिली में कन्विंस करा है कि मैं कनाडा नहीं
जाऊँगा एंड मैं जॉब लूँगा।
हाँ, मैं जॉब लूँगा।
मैं आपको 2 चीजें बोलूँगा. One will not sound very nice. One probably will solve your problem. Right? You are living your life. If I was living my life, I would be sitting. If my grandfather had his way, I would be sitting in his gas agency right now selling gas cylinders. I would also have a very comfortable life. Right? वो मेरा छोटा भाई करता है, अलग बात. But I would have also had a very nice life. You are living your life. Secondly, if you want a job, it's a great idea. And like I said, jobs, you should get jobs. We are trying to make more jobs. So अगर सारे entrepreneur बनेंगे तो jobs नहीं देगा तो काम कौन करेंगे? Right? Every someone has to. There is a problem with ISB also. We are 11,000 kids in ISB, and you know how many leaders are there? 11,000 leaders. There's literally no follow because a big part of when you get in is leadership skills. There's a whole thing on it. So please go take your job, but prepare yourself with these skills. That's what I'm saying. These are tools you must prepare yourself. अगर आपको कुछ करना है, आप उसका बिजनेस प्लान बना. मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ, सीखे बिजनेस प्लान. आप सीखे कि फाइनेंस जो होता है इसके अंदर वो कहाँ से आता है. जो आपको अगर कोई फंड कर रहा है, उसकी टर्म शीट में अगर वो लिख दे ड्रैग लॉन्ग क्लॉज, अगर वो लिख दे एंटी डाइल्यूशन राइट, उसका मतलब क्या होता है? बिकॉज व्हेन यू आर एक्चुअली रेजिंग मनी एंड गेटिंग अ स्टार्टअप रन, नोबडी विल टेल यू दिस थिंग्स.
Thank you, sir.
Apply for a job for sure, but learn these skills.
Okay, sir.
Which skills? Yeah, so I started off saying that the biggest skills you need to know is you need to be able to talk to people, convince people, have people skills, be able to give your ideas in 2 minutes more than anything else. Because everything else, आपको सोचते मेरे पास आइडिया है और मैं आइडिया पे बैठा हूँ, आइडिया नहीं बताऊंगा, वो आइडिया आज 100 लोगों के पास. So the only thing that will take you, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And nobody in this country today will ever fund you or touch you if you're not a team. Nobody will want to come near you or buy a product if you're not a collective or you don't stand for something. So if you're the only skill that I would want you to learn right now, apart from the technical stuff, which I think we'll teach separately, is these social skills on how to be able to convince people, give them your idea in 2 minutes, talk to them, sans language barriers, sans geographical